Welcome back. I'm Tia Turnbull, your champion of champions. This is Keep It 100, and right now you're learning the autobiography in 5 short chapters. So this is another process, stages you go through as you're learning how to get from where you were to where you want to be. Okay, so this was a poem written by Portia Nelson, and she also called it There's a Hole in My Sidewalk. All right, so the first chapter, chapter 1. There's a hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I'm lost. I'm helpless. It takes forever to get out. Okay? All right, chapter 2. I fall in again. And this time, the first one is not my fault. The second one is still not my fault. So, not my fault. Not my fault. Second one's still not my fault. It still takes a very long time to get out. Okay? Chapter 3. I fall in again. All right? This time I'm aware of where I'm at. I recognize it. See, it's a pattern. I recognize where I'm at and I get out really quick. I get out fast. Get out. Okay? Now, chapter 4. This time I see the hole and I go around it. See it, go around it. All right? Chapter 5. I walk down a different street. Okay, so I don't even fall in. I don't even fall in on the 4th one. I go around it. And on the 5th one, I go down a different street. So, of course, I don't fall in. All right, so let's unpack this a little bit, okay? The reason I am sharing this is because oftentimes when people are going through change, they put a lot of pressure on themselves. And if you don't get it right the first time, the second time, third time, you feel like there's something wrong with you. You feel like maybe you're a failure. First of all, I don't believe in failure. I believe that the only failure is not trying something. So if you're doing something, that's not a fail, that's a do. That's another, try and do is another skill that we're going to be teaching, that I'm going to be teaching. But so the first one, you fall in, it's not your fault, you're lost, you're helpless. This is like childhood. That's what your whole childhood is. This is a reaction. It's simply a reaction to being who you are. Remember we did reaction response? Well, we automatically do what we do as kids because that's what we learned. So of course it's not your fault. That's why in courts they have different rules for children than they have for adults, because children are just soaking up what's in their circumstances. They don't have any personal responsibility for it. Their minds aren't even constructed enough to have any personal responsibility. So everything they're doing is basically a program that was instilled in them from their circumstances. So of course it's not your fault. All right, and number 2, it's still not your fault. You're making the same mistakes because you're still doing the same things. You don't know any better. So it takes a long time to get out because you're still not, why is this happening? Why do I keep getting in relationships with the same people? Why does these things keep happening in my life? You don't quite understand, you can't quite see it yet, how you invited someone in. Well, that person acted like your father or acted like your mother or acted like your brother. So, of course, you're going to invite them in. It's what you're familiar with. Well, that's a reaction to what was programmed into you. That's why you keep doing the same things, because you don't realize that it's not reality. It's actually something that was handed to you, something that you were trained into being. You got rewarded for being some things. You got punished for being other things. A child can't stand up against that, so of course you're going to be doing those things that keep causing the same outcomes. And then number 3, you fall in, but you're like, wait a minute, I've been here before. I recognize this. I know where this is. You know, I keep doing the same thing. Why? This is something they call common denominator. And the common denominator is the thing that's the same in every situation. What's the same in every situation? Me, I'm the one who keeps getting into this same situation, which means I must be doing something to cause it. Now, that's not about failure, and that's not about being broken, and that's not about making yourself wrong. Remember the cell phone? It's always perfect. It's just you're looking up the same things. You're going in because you're automatically doing what you were trained to do. But now you've done it over and over and over, and you realize, oh, this really isn't working for me. I really would like to do something different. Because it hurts to fall in the bottom of this hole every time. It hurts to get hit by somebody. It hurts to get emotionally abused by someone. And you're like, but it keeps happening. So is it just that the whole world is like this? Well, I know I'm in that situation all the time, so I must be the common denominator. So what is it I'm doing? Or what can I do to do something different? Remember the ignorant, smart, wise, successful? What do successful people do? Is anybody living in a different way? Is anybody doing something that's different than this? Is anybody doing something that I'd rather be doing? Well, what is it they're doing? Maybe I can shift from what I have been doing into something new. Okay? And this is that stage. But the point of this is, don't beat yourself up because the same thing keeps happening. Just open your eyes and start to notice the signs. Start to notice the red flags. Start to notice the things that you don't like, if nothing else. You just say, well, I feel this feels familiar. I feel like I've been here before and I don't like it. I've been here before, but there's nothing wrong with me. It's just I've been here before. I'm noticing that I've been in a place that I don't want to be anymore. And once you notice that, you say, well, where else would I rather be? I know falling down that hole hurts, so let me sidestep that hole. That's the most I can do right now, is sidestep it. And sometimes the most you could do is sit there while you're in it and go, okay, I see, all right. And just observe yourself doing what you do. It's kind of like you put your mind outside watching yourself. Maybe you're in a bar and there's some guy you're talking to, right? And you feel yourself moving in the same direction that you moved 10 different times with 10 different guys, and you had the same outcome every time, and it didn't feel good. So you go, well, let me just sit here and watch myself do what I do. Like you're watching a TV show. You can actually go outside yourself and watch it, and you're saying these things, and you're doing these things, and you go, ha, 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 and you're getting drunk, and you're doing whatever it is you're doing. You know it's going to lead you in the same place it's been leading you. But you're watching yourself now. You're not stopping yourself, but you're getting very aware of what the pattern is. Oh, this is what I do. Oh, I've done this. Oh, and I'm doing this, and I don't have to do this. And look at me, I'm doing this. And you do it, and you go, oh, there, I did it again. Oh, here I am. Here I am. In someone's bed I didn't want to be in, or here I am cheating on my husband, or here I am cheating on my wife, or here I am, but you're watching yourself, right? So it's not that you're going to beat yourself up and you're going to think that you can change everything in one fell swoop. You just say, look, I'm aware that I'm doing this now, and I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I'm just going to be aware that this is something I learned somewhere along the way. I used to think it was something I needed, but now I'm beginning to realize that maybe it doesn't work for me. And now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch myself do it. And the next time, before I open the door of the bar, I'm going to say, okay, let's use this strategy tonight. You're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And then you behave in a different way. Instead of talking to that one who's drunk and grabby, you go talk to someone who treats you respectfully. I mean, small changes, Like, you just start learning to do different things. You just back up a little bit, because when you see the pattern, you can back up ahead of the pattern and say, okay, well, what do I want to do this time? All right, and maybe next time you don't go into that bar. And the next time you walk around it. And the next time you say, what would I rather be doing? Maybe I want to go for a ride on my bike. Maybe I want to go read a book. Maybe, whatever. See, in the past, you would say, well, that's not who I am. This is just who I am. No one can change me. This is who I am. I just do this. Oh, don't try to change me, right? But then you say, I don't feel so good with this. So maybe I could look at doing something a little different. All right? So then you'll see that the third time you watch yourself, but you get out fast, right? The second time you start to notice it. The third time you're watching yourself do it, but you get out of it. The fourth time you see it and you sidestep it, right? It's close. Woo! Woo! dodge that bullet. Oh, it was close, but I got away. And the 5th time, before you even step outside your house, you go, okay, I get this. I'm going to decide something else far, far in advance. And the further back you go, the more you have control over the direction you're going. The more you can see what's coming, the more you have direction over where you're going. So next, we're going to be talking about being proactive. That's part of another process, and I'll be sharing that with you. But that's what it's about. It's about where you're taking action ahead of time, thinking about things ahead of time before you get into those situations. And we'll talk more about that on the next. But this is the autobiography in 5 short chapters. You fall in, you're lost, you're helpless, it's not your fault. You fall in, it's still not your fault, it takes a long time to get out, you start watching yourself. 3rd time you're watching yourself, you see it, you get out fast. 4th time you see it, you go around it. And the 5th time you walk down a different street. You make up a new plan, and your life becomes different because you're doing something different, you're thinking something different, you're being something different. You be it and you live it, and you get to step into whatever it is you want. Okay, that's the Autobiography of 5 Short Chapters by Portia Nelson. I'm Tia Turnbull, your champion of champions. This is Keep It 100. Thank you for watching, and remember to champion yourself to be a champion.